what do we have here? We got a package from China. Pretty sure it's from China, from somewhere. It don't matter. We're going to open it and see what it is. I got the Twosun TS428 here with me, the one I call a jellyfish bay, because there's a little jellyfish on the anodizing there that I did by accident. So let's get this guy open. Oh, it's a Twosun. I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't remember there was a Twosun, but I mean, you got a decent odds of it being a Twosun when the package is from China. So let's see what it is. Oh, that's right. Okay. So this guy, it's in the regular old Twosun packaging, so nothing special there. This guy is, I think, the first knife I've ever had that had clear plastic scales. So this guy has clear scales. I bet it's oily as shit. It's all double wrapped up. Man, they put a lot of oil in these sometimes. Let's find out if she's double wrapped and double oiled or just double wrapped. Okay, it's pretty oily, but I've had more oily ones from Twosun, so it's not the most oily one that we've had. I'm gonna get a paper towel so I can clean that thing off. Really, it needs to be taken apart and the internals kind of de-oiled, because man, it is a oily son of a gun. You can see the oil kind of sitting inside there. Oh, there's actually kind of milling on this plastic. That's neat. Yeah, micro milling, very small, very fine micro milling. I'm not sure if you can see it. Right there, you can see it kind of. That's very cool. Interestingly enough, the titanium part is, wow, what is that? Is that a missing screw? What do we got here? It's got a missing screw, I think. No, wait, what? I think it's a missing screw. We'll look at the plastic I just threw away in the trash. Well, no screw there. What the hell's happening here? That's weird. I think it's got a missing screw, but I don't see threads down in the hole where the screw would go. I don't think. I gotta look at it in the microscope. So we're looking under a powerful electron microscope now to see.
Pull back. Wait a minute. Go right. Stop. Enhance 5719. Track 45 left. Stop.
Yeah, I don't see any threads.
Enhance 15 to 23.
Why would there be a hole there with no screw and no threads? What would be the point of that?
Give me a hard copy right there.
I'll have to look at someone else's video on this and figure out if someone else has figured out the deal with this. So yeah, I looked at it more closely, and yes, that is definitely a missing screw. It's not like some kind of weird lanyard hole or anything weird like that. It's actually a missing screw. Luckily, I'm here at the Iowa Knife Museum, and they just have random crappy knives laying around like this Walmart knife, which happened to have a pivot screw that's the right size to replace this pocket clip screw. The pocket clip screws would be way too small to borrow, but the pivot screw is actually large enough to where it fits in this gigantic overbuilt Twosun perfectly. Well, not quite perfectly. It's actually a little too big around. So I'm going to stick it in this drill chuck to where it's sticking out a little bit. And then I'm going to take it and run it up against some sandpaper or a grinder or something. So you can see what I'm doing here. So there's a screw sitting in the chuck. I'm going to run it up against something like a little grinder or something and take a little bit of metal off of it so it'll fit down inside the hole. The threads are right and the length is about right. It's a little short on the height of the head, but it'll be fine. So let me get on that, and then we will re-examine and see what it looks like when we have the right screw to put back in there. So we got it cut down. I just ran it up against a 1x30 sander like this. Ran it up against it while it was spinning, so it's nice and even. Let's see if it actually fits. Should fit. The only problem might be if the screw is a little bit too long, it'll stick out into the past the frame there and into up against the blade or something. Hopefully not. It looks like it might work. All right, so let's try it. Ooh, it's right there, just starting to poke out, but I don't think that'll bother the blade any. Tighten the other one up. Oh, shoot, I forgot. I'm gonna do something with this pocket clip so it's not quite so strong. While we have a driver here that we can pull the screws out with, let's take a look at this, see what we can do. Now, sometimes people like to, if there's too much pressure down on their pocket clip, they will, okay, come on. They will, oh, it's got like a little barrel that sticks into the pocket clip, makes it a little harder to pull off. They will take it and grind off this part a little bit, okay? And that'll make it so where there's less pressure pressing down. The problem with that is that lets it even pull down more if it has downward pressure still, because you're removing this, it's stopping it from coming down. Then now all of a sudden it's down even further like this, and then it hits up against your pocket and won't go in. So the better thing to do is to give it a little bit of a bend, a little outward bend if it has too much pressure. Okay, so we're gonna give it a little outward bend. I think that'll probably do it. Didn't take much, I don't think. So I'll put it on here. Oops, that was too much. So it's got a little space there now. So I actually got to bend it back just a tiny bit. We don't want a space there. That'll be too wimpy. Boy, this titanium bends easier than it should, I would say. It should be a little harder to bend than that. Just a tiny bit off the plastic, maybe. Okay, that's a tiny bit off the plastic. Let's see if that works, or if that's too far off the plastic and it just flops around in your pocket and it's too wimpy now. Or if putting the screws in changes something. Oh, well, right there. Ha, the other screw was actually stuck to the driver. I didn't see it. All right, this is the homemade screw. Let's get this guy in here and see if the pocket clip is a little better. It is. Okay, yeah, it's just a hair, just the slightest little hair off of the body of the thing. I think that'll be perfect. I think that'll let it get into your pocket nice and easy. Yep. Yeah, that's really good. So it just needed a little bit of upward bend. You wouldn't even have to unscrew it to do that, though. You can actually just take it and bend it up a little bit. So that's one way to do it. So we're going to try this thing out, see what we think a little bit longer term. I might take it apart and do that little cutout there. If I do, maybe I'll show that. Then we'll see how it goes. So we carried it around a little bit, got super tired of this bad liner lock access, and we did this. All right, I decided I'm going to go ahead and take it apart and get that little angle cut now, because it doesn't feel comfortable messing with that lock. It just feels bleh, feels crowded. So we're going to go ahead and get this guy apart. I'm going to assume that this is a captured pivot. Yes. Okay, so we can just pull this side out. Yeah, a D-shaped pivot right there. What else we need to take apart? This one for sure, because that looks like it's part that's holding this right here. Let's see, are the screws the same size? Hopefully they're all the same size. That would be a smart way to do it. This guy needs to come out, but the other little homemade one we put in doesn't need to come out because it only holds the pocket clip onto this side of the frame. So we should be good to go. Yes, no, yeah, I think. Yeah, okay. So we got this side off. There's your little internal, boy, that could use a little more beveling right there. Your little internal lock, not frame, kind of like a liner lock piece. I don't know, whatever the hell it is. So that's there. I might put a little more of a bevel there, and then we're definitely going to put a little bevel on this side right here. Okay, so looks like everything else is held on pretty snugly. So I can just kind of look at these two and see where it needs to be cut. It needs to be cut right on the opposite side with where the lock is. And like I said, the lock, I'm going to bring that bevel in a little bit more too, or add a little bit more bevel to it. There's a bevel there, but it's not very much. It needs a little bit more, I think. So we'll go after it and see. Taking the Dremel, putting a little bit more bevel on this guy. Yeah, not the prettiest, but it'll definitely give it a little bit smoother feel for your thumb, pushing that thing over. Got a lot of dust all over it now. I'll probably spray some oil into it and kind of clean it out with that. All right, now. So there we go. I got two little marks, one there and one there, and I'm going to put the angle in between those two marks. I might go over to the 1x30 grinder and see if that works better. Definitely a lot better now. You can see this big cutaway we did right here. We meaning just me. I added a little bit more cutaway to this one, so now the lock access is just, you know, good. It's not the best ever, but it's good. It's good enough. Two little things. If you're going to do any grinding on this, the titanium, take the plastic scales off first, because as I was grinding on it right here, the little plastic began to melt right along that edge right there as the titanium heated up. So I stopped real quick and took it off so that it didn't hurt much, but you can see a couple little bubbles right inside there where it started to melt just on the edge. Didn't hurt anything, didn't really warp it or anything, so got lucky there. But just take them off, and it's a good excuse to clean them anyway. So I cleaned them, and they turned a little bit more opaque. I cleaned them with alcohol. I don't know if the alcohol maybe caused them to turn a little more opaque, but they're a little more of a white, kind of a hazy white now. I don't know. Maybe use soap and water if you want to keep them more clear. But I think they're fine. I might dye them anyway, like a red or something cool. I think red dye will take on this material, but we'll see. But anyway, for now, it's definitely got a better feel to it. I bent that pocket clip out a bit, so it works better in the pocket. You know, it's good. I don't dislike it. Just not sure how much I like it. Oh, I forgot. While I was messing with it, I went ahead and took off the black coating on top of the pocket clip. I don't know why, just for the hell of it, just to add something interesting to it. Maybe to go along with the white of this, you know, clear plastic, so it's got almost like a white titanium look right there, as opposed to the black or dark bronze coating on the rest. I don't know. It almost sounds like, you know, a liner lock with plastic. Well, I guess it kind of has scales that are plastic, so maybe that's what I'm hearing. Definitely kind of has a plasticky sound to it, though. I like the blade shape, kind of a Bowie type shape. Nice big choil there to choke up on. Really good jimping there on the blade. I like that. Let's see. It's got a fuller. Can it be fuller flicked? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, yeah, easily. Very nice. The handle feels a bit chunky, a bit thick. Let's see. Do I have something to measure with? I bet it's substantially thicker than a 1/2 inch. Let's see. Well, let's just compare it to the 210. The 210 is a pretty thick boy. Okay. It's a little thinner than the 210. Interesting. It feels thicker for some reason. I wonder why it would. Let's see. What about the back? No. 210 is definitely a little thicker. Don't know why it would feel thicker than the 210, but it kind of does. Got a little squeak when you unlock it. Let's see if we can hear it. It doesn't do it there. Let's see. Okay, I thought I heard a squeak. Maybe no squeak. The flipper tab is not too huge. I like that. It sticks out some, but not some crazy amount. I don't love that the detent hole in the blade is showing outside of the frame. That's not my favorite. It's not a huge deal, but definitely not my favorite. I'd rather have it hidden. The blade finish is very aggressively stonewashed. I don't know if you can see that, but very aggressively tumbled with some pretty hard, sharp medium to make all those little kind of sparkly bits on it. It almost looks like galvanized steel, kind of, because of all the little marks on it. The frame is actually contoured, so it's not just a flat piece of plastic, clear plastic, although it almost looks like it. It is slightly contoured. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. Let's see. Yeah, it's got a slight contouring to it. Let's see, can you thumb open it? Not very easily, but I think it's doable. You really have to dig into it, then you can do it. You hear that squeak? Squeak! Yeah, it's got a little squeak on the unlock. I'm not sure why. See, the blade doesn't poke out of the back enough to worry about, that's for sure. So no danger there. Who's the designer on this? It's a Wong design. So Wong, whoever that is, does quite a bit of designs for Twosun. Boy, it is an oily design. Okay, yeah. So I'm not sure what I think about it yet. It's okay. It's decent. It's definitely a big boy. Let's see. Is she sharp? Does she got some cutting ability to her? I'll try to cut the package it came in. Yeah, it's pretty sharp. It's not terrible. Yeah, not bad. Good job, Twosun, on the sharpness. I don't love the sound, but I mean, that's personal preference more than anything. Blade shape is really cool. The idea of the plastic see-through scales is interesting. I'm not sure if I love it, but, you know, it's not bad. It's cool. Definitely a cool, different thing. Pocket clip is good. Backspacer, kind of plain. I'm not sure what I think about this thing. Maybe I'd like it more if the frame was also stonewashed, not black. Yeah, I don't know. This is one I'm definitely going to have to mess with for a while and see what I think about it. See if I really like it or not. It might have been better with a thumb stud right there than that fuller. The fuller's not terrible. Yeah, I don't know. Man, I don't know. The jury is just still out on whether I like this guy or not. So, it's just an unboxing. I'm not going to talk too much more about it because I got to mess with it some and see. So, this is the Twosun TS428 in N690. And it's still to be determined whether I like it or not. Have a nice day.